All right, how's the morning been so far? All right, one morning down. Hope you enjoy your lunch there. Today I want to walk through just this playbook. One of my favorite quotes, the best way to predict the future is to create it. This quote has sat on my desk for the last 20 years. It's been a source of inspiration for me, to remind me that we all have the keys to our own kingdom. This is something that I've spent 20 years building, 3 successful businesses now. My first one was a software company. My second one was a construction company. Sure enough, my third one is now a software construction company. So we've put it all together, but I have spent countless hours, studying other successful, prominent entrepreneurs from, Steve Jobs, Mark Benioff, Elon Musk, the list goes on and on. I've attended several different, leadership events and trainings and sessions, and this playbook has been a continual work in progress that we've had from the very beginning of my first company, and it's also been our secret sauce. So many people see JobTread and think that we are so much bigger than we are, and we've just grown extremely fast. The reality is that we are just a very well-oiled machine, and we have built a great team that has helped us to implement and execute on this playbook. So I've boiled it down into 10 key strategies that we're going to go through. I hope that this playbook can serve as a framework for you to take it back, create your own business playbook that will help you build a better business and be that guiding light, help you create the business that you're passionate about and you want to make your life's work. Pursue a mission and vision. This is something that you need to be extremely passionate about. Being an entrepreneur is a lot of hard work. It can be a grind at times. I'm sure you all can agree with that, right? It's something that you have to have that passion and you have to do what you love. Because when the times get tough, that's the thing that will keep you going. Most people would quit. Most people would throw in the towel and give up. And that's why most businesses fail. Being an entrepreneur is not easy. You have to be able to sustain the test of time. And doing that is being in love with what you do. It's something that I've learned that life is too short to not love what you do, to not work with the people that you care about, and to focus on making an impact on the world around you. Our vision and our mission at JobTread is something that just propels all of us. Our mission is to help construction companies to be able to grow and build better businesses, to be successful, to win back your time so you can spend more time with your family. Our vision is to be the standard for construction management. This is what we rely on. You need to have your mission and your vision as the key focus for your entire company. Success requires a ton of hard work, and mindset is so important to that. Make sure that you are focused and that you wake up every day and that you are excited and that you want to come to work and that you want to do a great job and that you want to be there for your team and for your customers. I think some of the best advice I got early on from my dad, and as much as I've struggled to fully agree and embrace this, he said that you can't boil the ocean. And what he meant by that was that, I needed to focus. I needed to figure out what do we want to be great at and go do that. Go focus on that. You can't be everything to everybody. And as a leader, you have to continually perpetuate that mission and that vision to your team, to your customers, to the community that you're in. That is the number one job, is to keep that in front of people. You have to get everybody on your team in the same boat, rowing in the same direction, and that's going to help you go so much faster. So I encourage you to spend time really thinking about your mission and your vision. Figure out, what are you passionate about? What do you love about construction, about contracting, about what you're doing, and let that be your guiding light. Once you've got that, you're going to need to build a great team. No matter how smart you are, how good at your trade you are, you're going to need a great team behind you to make your vision become a reality. You need to be a great talent scout. always be looking for the A-plus players. Look for the people who are passionate, who have that strong work ethic, who desire to be on your team, to do what you do. You want people who are going to take great pride in their work. These people are going to push your business forward, but they're also going to make this journey so much more exciting and rewarding for you to be on. You need to take your time to hire the right people. Don't just settle. Keep those lines out there. As Jim Collins said, you need to get the right people on the bus, the right people in the right seats on the bus, and the wrong people off the bus. It takes a lot of time to train people. And if you don't make the right decisions in building your team, you could spend a lot of time and money that will just flush right down the drain if those people walk out, or if you have to remove them. So make sure that you're finding the best people. And the way to do that, though, is you need to clearly define the roles and the responsibilities for those people. Always be on the lookout for great people. Just like how you track your leads, you should track your applicants and the people that you want to hire. Think about yourself like a headhunter. Find those people, and when you find them, you know. And even if you can't get them to join you today or tomorrow, maybe next month, maybe next year, whenever it is, keep in touch, build the relationship, pursue them. Pursue them like your leads. Because when you find a great person, you definitely don't want to let that go. And you'll know that you've built a great team when one day you can go and you can take a vacation. You can take some time off. And you're able to have the business continue to run and operate without you there every day. Your goal should be to create an organization that shares your passion. It shares your desire to work hard and play hard. And it eventually can build itself. Once you've got that great team, though, you need to focus on making it a great place to work. You need to build a great culture to keep those people. Develop your core values. What are the most important things to you? What are the traits that you want your company to embody? And figure out what those are and communicate those values. You can go look at our values on our website, on our About Us page. But make sure that all of your team, everybody, even your subs, the people who work with you, the people who engage with you, your customers, your prospects, everybody should know and understand what are your core values. Who is this company? What do they believe? And that all will come back to creating this core of a very strong culture and company and team. I think it's important that you also recognize everyone's contributions. Take the time to celebrate your team's wins. Upstairs, you'll see we have a Who's Kicking Ass box. And every week, our team can put in just little notes on who's kicking ass. And the very first thing we do at our weekly team lunch every Wednesday, the first thing I do is I read out who's kicking ass. And it's an acknowledgement for those people to the entire team. The first one picked gets either they can choose a Starbucks or a Chipotle gift card. Nothing big. We didn't give them all a plaque or trophy or whatever, but we recognize them. This is something that you can do that is so important that will motivate the people on your team to want to do a great job. And speaking of food, though, I will say, I think, providing food is a great way to win people's hearts. We do a weekly team lunch on Wednesdays, and everybody loves that. It is an opportunity for us to all come together, break some bread, get fed, be happy. We've now added a Monday team lunch. We're not going to have like a full hands-on-deck meeting, but, as we do better and we can provide more food, we're going to do that for the team. Every time we hit our monthly goals, we do a breakfast taco morning. We keep a pantry full of, just snacks. Our fridges are full of beverages. It's the little things that go a long way. For you all, maybe it's not food. Maybe it's providing, clothing and equipment. The things that are going to show your team that you care about their productivity. You care that they're comfortable and that they're happy and that they can do the job that you need them to do. A pair of boots, a pair of gloves, like in the big picture, this is nothing. This is a rounding error in your greater company's, P&L. So go above and beyond and take the steps to figure out what can you do to motivate those people. Figure out what drives them and do more of that. I think it's important that you figure out how to instill that unity, that team, sense, that the fact that everybody is on one team working together. I'm sure you all have been on teams or been involved in things where it feels like everybody's going in a different direction. Not only are you not moving as fast as you could, but that's a frustrating feeling for everybody involved. So you've got to focus on uniting people. And the way to do that is by having open and honest communication with people. I have an open door policy. Anybody can come talk to me at any time. My goal is to keep this organization as flat as possible. I never want people to think that, Eric's my boss and I can't go talk to him because of that. No, I want people to think Eric's my teammate. He's right there in the trenches with me. He wants to help me. I want everybody in our team to feel comfortable talking to everybody else on our team. And again, it comes back to recognizing people for great work. Figuring out how you can celebrate your wins. You're not going to have huge wins every day and every month, but you can figure out the small things that you can celebrate. You have to enjoy the journey. You want your people to come in every day, not just because you're paying them, but because they want to, because they're passionate, because they feel fulfilled. They're learning, they're growing. So figure out how to incorporate that into your culture. You're going to spend more time with these people than your own family. You need to have a great working relationship with everyone on the team. And if you don't have that, then how is someone else going to have that? You want to make sure that people get to know each other. Take the time to understand who the people really are. Doing events outside of the office is a great way to do this. Volunteer work. We do the Habitat for Humanity, painting homes. Get out there, have events, invite the extended families. This is how you build camaraderie. If you have won over the significant other back home, their spouse, their partner, whoever it may be, and they're supportive of them, of their partner working for you, it's going to make it so much easier. Make sure they know how much you care about the team and the people that are working for you. You'll have conflicts. Conflict is inevitable. Inevitable. And in fact, I think conflict is good. As long as it stays positive, as long as it's constructive. But the second that conflict turns negative and people start tearing others down, that's when you need to step in and you need to put a stop to it. You cannot let one bad apple spoil the bunch. You have to keep things positive and constructive for everyone. It's up to you to build a great culture. Now, in order to build a great business, it's going to take money. Sales is the lifeblood of every single organization. You have to be able to keep the lights on and to grow. And you need to focus on sales and marketing. And if that's not going to be you, fine, but it needs to be somebody in your organization. You need to understand who is going to focus 100% of their focus and their time and energy on sales and marketing. You have to beat the heart. You have to fill the pipeline. It has to keep coming in. And to do that, you need to understand your target customer. Understand their needs, their pain, and then figure out how you can best serve them and become great at communicating that. Make sure that you have a great website. This is the face of your company. This is where all of your leads should be driven to. This is their first experience. This is where you're going to convert them into a prospect and eventually into a customer. So make sure that you have a great face to your company. And have a CRM. Track their information. I can't tell you the number of times I've gone to someone's website, reached out for more information, and never heard back. You need to track that. You need to do a good job of understanding who is coming to you, where they're coming from, what their needs are. Just because you can't sell them today doesn't mean that they might not become a customer tomorrow. Take detailed notes. Understand who the decision makers are. What is the buying process? What are they looking for? Keep track of the small things too. Who are their kids? What are their favorite flowers? Whatever it may be. Those little things help build those relationships. There are various sales strategies and techniques out there. I mean, everything from, the one call close to going on site to, doing, all sorts of work to win a deal. Like whichever end of the spectrum you're on or somewhere in between, it doesn't really matter. But take the time to learn the different sales strategies and techniques and figure out which one works for you and for your business. No matter what it is, you can get better at it. You need to focus on it and practice. And at the end of every job, making sure you're asking for reviews, for testimonials. Pull out your camera and say, hey, would you mind doing a quick video testimonial? Would you mind telling us about your experience, why you chose us? How was the project? Again, pick up the phone, make those calls, ask them to be references for you. This is why upstairs we've set up a little video testimonial room. If any of you feel so inclined, we would love for you to come tell your story on video. What's your experience been so far? How's the boot camp like? Always be capturing that information. That is just invaluable gold for your marketing team, for your website, for the internet, for social media. Referrals and word of mouth are the #1 best lead source you can get, and it's free. You just got to ask for it. Now, you also have to earn it, though. It's very important that you realize that you need to earn your customers' respect, earn that referral, earn that 5-star review. That brings me to my next point. From the moment that lead interacts with you in your company, you need to provide a great experience. You need to make sure that first impression is a great one and that makes them want to continue down that path with you. Your ultimate goal should be to create customers for life. The great book I read early on was Carl Sewell, and his book was called Customers for Life, and he owns a bunch of car dealerships here. I didn't know quite, what it was going to be like. I actually drove over there one day thinking I might want to get a new car. I ended up turning in my car, buying a new car, drove off the lot with it, and it has been the greatest experience I've ever had working with a car dealer. Anytime I have issues, I drive right back and they take care of everything. They treat me great. They make it easy for me to be a customer. They value my business and they make me feel that. Create customers for life. That customer experience, it begins in the sales process. Every interaction that you have, your team has with any customer, any prospect, you need to make sure you are extremely professional. You are branding yourself, your company. Everyone should be wearing their JobTread uniform or their, your company uniform. Your truck should be wrapped. Every proposal, every document you send, have your logo branded. Be responsive, be easy to work with. Customers buy from people they like and people that are easy to work with, people that are responsive. Be that contractor. You can literally just cut them off from continuing to shop if you win over their business, you deliver what they need to make the decision, and you make it easy for them to buy from you. That's a great experience. Don't be the contractor who shows up and talks a good game and then never follows up. I'm not saying that you should cut corners to get that proposal out quickly, because you shouldn't. You should make sure that it's accurate. But be responsive and get them what they need to become a customer. Focus on that. And if it's not you, then somebody in your organization needs to do that. Be very clear and transparent with all of your communication. There's nothing worse than working with someone who doesn't, make sense or isn't very clear what is the payment schedule? What are the expectations? When should I expect you to be here to do this? Again, it's all about taking care of your customers. And if something goes wrong, fix it. If you did something, if you screwed something up, make it right. Now again, if it was something in unforeseen circumstance, it was something out of scope, great. Take care of it with a change order. Don't leave them hanging. Don't leave them, thinking that this company just coming in here trying to get in and out as fast as possible. Bend over backwards to do right by your customers. Your reputation is everything. You cannot rebuild very easily when you get bad marks on your reputation. And especially this day and age, everything is digitalized, everything is shared online, on Google. You need to strive to win over the market in everything you do. Never say anything that you wouldn't want published on the front page of the Wall Street Journal. Delivering exceptional customer service is something that I have always been extremely passionate about. As many of you know, we put a tremendous effort into making sure that every one of our customers is taken care of. We want to be here for you from the very beginning of your journey with us. If you ever need anything, you can get a hold of us, whether it's your customer success manager, our support team, our Facebook group. Reach out to me. Like, customers are your lifeblood. And when you treat them well, when you earn that respect and you earn that referral, they're going to go out and they're going to share that with others. But it starts with you providing them a great customer experience. And in order to do that, you have to be able to scale your business. You have to be able to implement efficient processes. Be process-oriented. In every single process, find your bottlenecks. How can you improve? Naturally as entrepreneurs, we all just keep putting on more hats, one after the next. If you can't afford to build a team and hire a team yet, the buck stops with you. So you have to figure out how to do more with what you've got. And the way to do more is to be more efficient. A lot of people think that I have this like OCD complex for efficiency, and maybe I do, but what I've learned is the more efficient I am, the more that I can get done. This helps me accomplish more and grow faster. The same goes for your team. The more efficient that you can make them, the more they're going to get done. The better experience that they're going to provide. And it's going to help you do more with your current resources. Maybe you can defer hiring another person. You should never throw bodies at a problem that can first be fixed with processes and with tools. I see a lot of people that just keep hiring people, but they have inefficient processes. Well, now your overhead is going to balloon up. Focus on the processes first. Figure out what is the easiest, most efficient, most automated, and repeatable thing that you can do to scale your business. And implement those. For me, when I first took over the construction company, I went and I shadowed every single person. I spent either half a day or a full day with them. Did ride-alongs, took the time to understand their processes so that I could then find those bottlenecks. Sometimes it's as easy as asking them, hey, what do you think you're spending your time doing that you wish you weren't? And that if I could take that off your plate, or if I could make that faster or easier for you, you could spend more time delivering more value for the organization. And so often they'll just tell you. A lot of times people don't want to complain. A lot of times when you have rock stars on your team, they're just going to go and do it above and beyond, bend over, even if it's not the most efficient process. So you got to make sure that people are operating as efficiently as possible. And from there, you can start to streamline those processes when you understand what the challenges are. This is where, again, you can now embrace technology. You can leverage software, leverage AI, find those massive efficiencies that you can implement. But you have to understand your needs first to make sure that you're finding the right solutions. Keep things simple. Build an integrated tech stack. What does that mean? It means that everything that you bring into your company from a technology standpoint should hopefully be integrated with the other pieces of the pie. You want to create one connected ecosystem to make it easy for data to go from one system to the next. There is no magic bullet. There is no one software that is going to solve all of your needs. And so the key is finding the right ones that can play well with others. If you think about if you had to go and literally recreate every invoice you create in JobTread in Quickbooks, and every bill and all the payments singing back and forth and every time entry, that would be a massive time suck. So you leverage the integration and you streamline the entire process. When you don't have that, again, somebody's having to manually do it. Find the things and the ways that you can do this in an automated fashion. That's why, as you see in JobTread, all of our integration partners, we continue to add those partners and those integrations with the companies that we think are bringing the most value to our customers. And the neat thing too, because we're an API first company, now they're starting to build integrations on top of us without us having to do anything. But that's what we're striving for, and that's what we have enabled here, is this connected ecosystem of applications that is going to make you a lot more efficient. The best companies will make sure that they have the best tools and that their employees have the best tools. You have to set your people up for success. I remember one of my very first internships, they had me building something in this Access database. It was the most frustrating thing ever. It was slow, it was clunky. That didn't boost my morale. That didn't make me want to be productive and be excited. That made me tired and sleepy and just bored. Make sure that your team has the tools that they need to be efficient, and that will boost their morale. That will make them more productive. You know, implementing the right systems is going to help you tremendously scale your business. And it's also going to help you know your numbers. It is so important that you put the right financial processes in place that can help you make smarter business decisions. If you don't know your production rates, you're going to struggle to know your cost. If you don't know your cost, you can't accurately price your job. If you don't have an annual and a monthly budget for your company, then there's no way you're going to hit your goals because you don't have any. You have to know how much you have every single month in your budget to help you make the right decisions to scale the business. Can we afford to hire this person? When should we hire this person? What are the KPIs that we're looking at to know when we need to make a change or when we need to invest more? Build that financial model. Build an annual budget for your company as a whole. Start with the number of customers. What is your average price? You know, build out your revenue model. It doesn't have to be complicated, but put something out there. And then build out your cost of goods sold. What is it going to cost to execute on that many jobs? What is our gross profit going to look like? What's our overhead going to look like? Build that model. Figure out what you need to build a great business. And look, you may be wildly off on this model, especially if it's your first time doing it. But you got to start somewhere. You're going to have to make assumptions. And those assumptions can be wrong, fine. But at least you're going to know where they were wrong. And that's going to help you the next time build an even better model. Now you're going to have more data to refer back to. You have to understand your numbers. You have to put a focus on that. You know, it's easy for contractors to win in a bull market. Everybody's getting deals. Everybody's winning. The demand is through the roof. But the real test of a great company is how they perform in the down market. Will you survive the test of time? Can you weather the storms? The companies that understand their numbers and understand their business, their cyclicality, they have planned for that. They will be positioned to weather the storm. They will be the ones who continue to win business even when the economy slows down. Understanding your KPIs, your key performance indicators, like figure out what makes your business tick. What are the things that you need to do every month to hit your goals? Understand that, track that, regularly review that. Having data is going to help you to continue to improve your business. And focus on cash flow. This is the number one thing that I see businesses fail because they don't understand cash flow. Just because you have $100,000 in the bank does not mean that your business is cash flowing. You might have $200,000 of liability that you need to pay out tomorrow. Cash flow is king. Understand that. This is how you financially scale your business. And if you can't do it yourself, if you are not the financial person, fine, but you need to find a partner or find somebody who can help do that. It is imperative that your business understands its numbers, and that will help you to financially grow it. So again, we as entrepreneurs, we can't do everything. It's just not possible. And so you need to figure out, what are you great at? What are you personally great at as the business owner, as the entrepreneur, as the leader of this company? What are you great at? What are you going to spend your time focusing on? And all of the other things that you can't do great, that you just don't physically have the bandwidth and the capacity to do, you need to figure out who's going to do it. Because to build a great business, you have to be able to deliver greatness on all fronts. And when you can't afford to hire people, fine. Then find partners. Find other companies who specialize in those things. You know, one way or another, you have to figure out how are you going to deliver greatness across the board. You know, I believe it is so important. This is why we created the JobTread Marketplace. We are finding all of these companies who we believe are offering, value add complementary services that will help you all build better businesses. If you can't be great at marketing, if you can't focus on marketing, then you need a marketing agency. You need a marketing partner. If you're not, doing SEO, if you're not focusing on creating content and ads and social posts, then find somebody who can do that. If you're not good at managing the books, if you don't have a very clean set of books, if your QuickBooks is not well in order, then find an accountant. Find a bookkeeping partner, somebody who can work with you to make sure that you don't drop those balls. Picking the right partners is very important too. You need to take the time to get to know them. I would encourage you to reach out to many of the partners on our marketplace. Talk to others in your community, find out who they're using. Talk to them, get to know them, understand what are their core values. Who is their business? Do they work with companies like yours? Have they helped other people in your situation take it to the next level? Be very selective. Just like your employees, you need to pick the right partners. And that's going to save you so much time. That's why we're very big on making sure our partners, and the people on that marketplaces are committed to coming to JobTread Connect. We want the people who are going to go out of their way to build relationships with our customers who we know will deliver that same level of customer service that we expect all of you to get. So again, if you want to accelerate your business, if you want to find ways to continually improve and just do better, figure out, are you going to do it or is a partner going to do it? And build that partner team. Build that power team. If you don't know where to begin, find a coach. Join a coaching group. I'm part of all these different groups that a lot of you are from, and I've seen them all, and they're all tremendously impactful on people. They can help you learn what you don't know. They can help you overcome challenges because other people in those groups have already overcome those challenges. This is a great way for you to just skip so many hard knocks by learning from others and become part of these communities. Just continue to build that partner team. And lastly, it's just focus on continual improvement. Improve yourself. Improve your team. Improve your processes. Improve the quality of your work. Improve your business. Never get complacent. Never just assume because the business is coming in and we got jobs flowing and we're making money and things are good that you can just sit back. Don't get complacent. Be excited to continue learning and growing. This is, again, it's a mindset. It's something that, experience is key. And you have to continually find those opportunities to go get experience. And maybe it's just practice. Practice is what they say makes perfect. Now, I don't actually believe in perfect. I think it's something you're constantly striving to. But go take the time, do the reps, practice, gain skills, improve your skills. Build your team, build their skills. In order to keep up with the best, you have to learn from the best. Figure out what are they doing and implement that for your company. Continue to improve your processes. Don't just accept the status quo. That's not, you're always going to need to keep building and doing better. The world around you is changing. Everything is always changing. And when you keep up with that, when you embrace change, when your team knows that we're not going to just, do the things that we've been doing for the last 20 years because that's what we're comfortable doing, when they know that you're going to adopt new systems, new processes, we're going to figure out ways to be more efficient, when that is embedded in your culture, then it's just going to be so much easier to get their buy-in and to collaborate on these things and reflect on what's working, what's not. Not everything is going to work, and that's fine. Collect the feedback. Collaborate. Have that open and honest communication about what's working and what's not. Take the time to meet with your team. Have regular performance reviews. Whether it's, weekly, whether it's, bi-weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually at worst. Whatever it is, take the time to sit down with each of your employees and ask them, how are things going? Here's what I see. Here are the things that I think you could, improve upon. Maybe we could, implement this, or maybe we could do that, or let's now focus on these things. That is how you continually improve yourself, your team, your business. Our biggest philosophy here at JobTread is may the best idea always win. It doesn't matter whose idea it was. I don't care if I came up with it or the security guard outside this door came up with it. The thing that's important is that we can have healthy debate, open and honest communication. Nobody's going to get their feelings hurt. We can just, again, say it how we see it. And may the best idea always win. These are the 10 key strategies, if I had to boil it down, that I think have made the biggest impact on all of the businesses, all of the organizations that I've been involved in. And so again, I hope this framework that we've given you will be a tool that you can take back to your company, that you can spend the time implementing and figuring out what can we do to build the best business possible? What can we do to create a legacy? It's not just about here and today. It's about building a self-sustaining company that is going to deliver your mission and your vision. At the end of the day, though, the buck stops with you guys and gals. You all are the leaders. You all are the entrepreneurs. So take that time, reflect. How can we build the best company, the best business, the best teams, treat our customers the best, implement the systems and processes that are going to make us efficient, focus on development and improvement, and I hope that this will lead you to have a wildly successful 2024, 2025, and beyond. I can't wait to see all of you in a few years and see where you have grown your business. I want to see all of the challenges that you've overcome and how you overcame them. I want you all to come on Builder Stories and share your story, share your experience. We can all help each other here. A rising tide lifts all boats. But it takes devoting the time and the energy to doing what you need to do to make those hard changes, to implement these things that you're learning here today, and build the best possible business that you can. And I am happy to answer any questions for the remaining 1 minute that I have. No, in all seriousness, we're going to spend a lot more time together upstairs. We have the happy hour. I'll be around. I know Anna's probably somewhere wanting to keep the schedule on track, but I don't see her, so I am happy to answer any questions. Oh, she's watching me. She's our taskmaster.
How'd you come up with the name JobTread? That's that a lot.
I think that naming companies is very hard. It's probably one of the hardest things. At the end of the day, this day and age, it's always like, oh, that's a great idea. Let me see if the domain's available. And so that sort of rules out the majority of things. But, Casey, my co-founder, him and I probably have, a list of, hundreds of businesses and ideas. And, this one just sort of seemed to stick with us. He had sort of developed a little logo, and that's pretty cool. Kind of looks like Tire Tread, and we just moved forward with it and built the brand around it. I'm curious, are any of these things, would you say would be like something that you're already doing really well, or something that you need to implement and that you could do better at? Like, what would be kind of the key things that you took away from these? Yeah.
I wasn't related to that question, so I kind of pulled my hand down, but it's amazing stuff that you're providing here, and we appreciate it greatly. One of the biggest reasons that you haven't ended to yet, and one of the reasons why I joined was because of the communication that's already kind of going through the builders about the potential of selling this company to somebody else. And I wanted you to highlight that a little bit.
Yeah, I get asked that all the time. The thing is, again, I've already had a very successful exit. I sold my first company. It was software that we sold to colleges and universities. We took it to like 650 universities in 13 countries, had over 20 million users. Sold the business, did very very well personally. Myself, my friends, my family. We bootstrapped that company out of a 5-bedroom house. No institutional capital. I did though. I learned the hard way why not to sell your company to a private equity firm. I lived through, an unfortunate situation. I mean, they bought us, and then they immediately bought our biggest competitor. We only compete with one of their 5 products. So sure enough, they jack up the price. Say that they're going to combine the best of both these products, which was a total lie. Ended up, putting our product on the shelf. 1 year and 1 day, some guy from New York wearing a suit and tie flies down and, asked my dad and I to come meet him across the street. And my dad's our CFO, first person I've hired in all my companies. But but before we could even sit down, they're just like, "You're fired." I got ousted from my own company after a decade. And so this is a really hard thing to go through, and I mean, again, I've literally lived through. I mean, this is what happened with Buildertrend and Co-Construct. Bain Capital bought Buildertrend December 2020, and then they bought Co-Construct March 2021. I mean, I had a really awesome conversation with Donnie White, the founder of Co-Construct, yesterday actually, and it's so interesting how similar our stories are. But again, for me, like, this isn't about the money. I'm not in this for the money. What we want to do is create an awesome company, build an awesome team. I mean, I would have still been at my last company if they wouldn't have fired me. It was my family. Literally every day I get to work with my dad. That is my dream come true. He's been my mentor my whole life. He's a serial entrepreneur. He predicted I'd be a serial entrepreneur. I was like, I don't want to be a serial entrepreneur. I just want to build a great company and a great team and let that be my life's work. And so, I think what we've done, and my biggest takeaway from the first one was I chose the wrong market. There are only 5,000 universities in the U.S., another 5 to 10,000 worldwide. We've now come to the other end of the spectrum here, and we can all get excited and be passionate about building. And so, I'm beating these private equity people off with a stick every day. I have an auto-canned response to just say, thanks, but no thanks. Please don't call again. Please don't email again. Like, we don't need the money. I'm adamantly like anti-private equity, not taking any institutional capital. We funded this thing ourselves, and at this point, I mean, it's profitable, cash flow positive. All the money we make, we want to continue to invest in our team. We want to just keep building a great business. Where else would I want to go? Why would I want to go start over again? I get to work every day with my dad. We have an amazing company, and these people, like, I consider all these employees like my friends, my family. And so at the end of the day, like, I've learned that money is not everything. Like, I've not had money and I've had money. I'd much rather have money, but it's not going to make you happy. And so again, I'm in a very, very fortunate situation where, like, we don't need the money. I don't want to go do a bunch of acquisitions. I don't want to deal with other companies and other people's problems and trying to roll up their tech into ours. I mean, I guess I shouldn't name names, but you can look at other companies out there and how those acquisitions have gone. It's very difficult. We want to keep it simple, and we want to keep building and doing what we're doing. I want to get JobTread to tens of thousands and eventually hundreds of thousands of construction businesses all around the country, all around the world. This is how I get to give back. What else would I want to do with my time? Like, I already tried after the first one, sitting at home, and ended up starting to do all these home remodel projects, and got into plumbing and went and cut my water main and put in an automated meter reader and shut off valve, and started getting into electrical, and thought I could go sit for the electrician's exam, but you got to have like 8,000 apprentice hours, so that was a non-starter. But I'm playing around the electrical main box, and wife's like, you need to get out of the house and go do something. So again, I can't just sit around and do nothing. I'm not looking for a flip. Like, I want JobTread to be the thing that becomes the standard for construction for the entire world. That's my mission. That's my vision. That's what I'm doing. I wouldn't even be paid right now if it wasn't for my dad saying, Eric, we're making so much money that you need to pay yourself something. I want to put everything I have into JobTread. And the cool thing is that as we keep doing better and better, my goal is to be able to pay my team well. I want to make sure that they're compensated for all of their efforts, for answering that phone call after work hours, for going above and beyond on the weekends. And that's the beauty of this software as a service model, is that we can build a very scalable and very profitable business, and we don't need outside money, and I'm not going to take it.
Yeah.
That was a very long-winded answer. But you get me going there, yeah.
So I just started at my new job this week. Monday was my first day, and here I am learning the new software. But I come from print industry and project management there, and we had a continuous improvement environment there. So I'm curious to hear from your perspective. I love that. Point number 10 resonated the most with me because that's where I come from. I come from a manufacturing environment where we're continually trying to improve our processes.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about, like, where does that come from? What's your experience been with that as it relates to the building industry?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's so important that, I want all of my people to try things and potentially fail than to not try them at all. So like, again, if you try something and you make a mistake, fine. As long as you reflect on it, you understand why you made the mistake, you don't keep making the same mistake over and over again, like, that's how you push things forward. And so by taking the time for our people, like we encourage them to do professional development. A lot of times people take the time and even their own time to go learn skills outside of office hours, figuring out like what can I do better at? What skills can I develop? Do I need to learn more about this particular type of, estimating or project management, or, if I'm a software person, like do I need to learn a new language or new plugin or whatever it may be? Like, it's just important that you embrace that and you encourage that. We send our people we go to tons of events every year, and it's about going and sitting in the room, listening to those ed sessions, taking in as much as you can. It's about, listening to our customers, understanding how you run your business, how, you're operating. That can help us continue to improve our processes. And so, I think, again, it's a mindset. So many times I see business owners that all they want is for people to come in, clock in, type away or do whatever they're supposed to do and then clock out, and there's no room for anything else. You need to encourage that personal development, that professional development, like that growth. And, I think, again, when you have that mindset, people will start to kind of take it upon themselves to figure out, what else can they do? I've had our marketing team the other day said, hey, can we go to this, this marketing event to learn, how we could do a better job with our advertising? Yeah, awesome, absolutely. So it's, and I think, again, putting it in your budget can also ensure that it happens and that people, will feel comfortable asking for those things. So devoting, money in your budget to it is good as well. Any other thoughts, takeaways? Yeah.
So, how long did it take you to push through months and months or years and years of loss to when you decide then trying to turn to profit? Because a lot of people, like you were saying earlier, they quit before they get to that success side because it's too hard.
It takes a while. In both my very first company, I literally bootstrapped it out of a 5-bedroom house, didn't pay myself for several years. Same thing here. Even though, the situation, I, had money and invested it into JobTread, I didn't draw a salary. My dad didn't take a salary. A lot of our people joined us, early on, took a big pay cut to come here. I think at the end of the day, like, you just got to make sure that you can make payroll. Number one thing that is I think will just burn any company is when you miss that first payroll. Don't do it. Do not do it. Like my dad, I remember when I was for like 24 or something in the beginning of my first company, we were about to miss payroll. This is when I learned about factoring receivables. He's like, Eric, you have a couple contracts that you hadn't collected upon. I'm going to buy those contracts, and when the money comes in, you're just going to pay me back. Like, figure out whatever you need to do to don't miss a payroll. But I think I've always really valued, and again, part of the reason why I don't like taking all this money, and there's a lot of companies that take a bunch of money. Like, if you operate with a bootstrap mentality, even today, like you will probably find that like JobTread does not waste a penny on anything, largely because of my dad, and he's very, very conservative. But it's just make sure that every single dollar you spend is gonna contribute to the growth and help you get there. Yeah, you're going to take a sacrifice. I used to literally eat saltine crackers, in the first company. But I can tell you, like, if you can just be persistent and just determination, grit, don't give up, figure out how do you get into that. Like, I got to be able to live, meet my bare minimums, whatever that is, and it definitely helps. Having a spouse or somebody who, two incomes in the family is a lot better than one, especially when one's not, really flowing yet. You just got to figure out how to make it work, but make sure that you keep your cost as low as possible. Stretch your payables. Every single one of your accounts, if you're buying materials on account, whatever it is, call and ask them, hey, if you have net 30 now, ask for net 45, ask for net 60. Worst thing that can happen is they say no. Best thing that can happen is you just bought yourself 30 more days to start paying back and paying off, those loans. Just how can you collect more up front? Look at your payment schedules. If you can collect upfront deposits and then create this, these payment, stages or, kind of points within the project, you should never take money, that hasn't been paid to you. Take money out of your own pocket to buy materials. You got to get that money from the customer to fund the project. Now, sometimes customers won't feel comfortable paying for labor up front. There are too many horror stories of contractors taking the money and running. And if you have to do that, fine. Collect money just for the materials up front, and then at every draw request, every payment point, okay, well, we're going to collect, for the labor that we just completed and the materials for the next stage. And so like just figuring out how to get that optimal cash flow situation. And again, though, I would say like, especially early on, like it takes money to make money. Invest in your marketing, invest in advertising, double down on marketing. Like that is 100% like focus on joining all the local contractor groups, all the neighborhood groups, everything in your area, and just promote yourself, promote your brand. Every single time somebody asks a question on Facebook, you answer that question, you promote it. You're not only like directly, answering the questions then, but you're creating this long tail of content that every time someone searches that contract or that group later, they're going to find you. Like that, social, media and Facebook in particular. I mean, that they are free. It takes your time, but that's one thing that you can do, and that you're pouring it into this business. Find the things that have low cost and high value. Just get out there, spread the word. Call previous customers, ask them for referrals. Again, just you knock on doors, whatever it is. Like focus on sales though. That is the number one thing. Like I see so many people try to build these elaborate companies and systems and all this stuff. And you gotta focus on sales. And then when you need to scale, then you make those changes and you make those improvements and you keep growing. But don't let anything distract you from sales. If you need cash flow, if you need money, focus on sales. That's what I did. I smiled and dialed at the beginning of JobTread. I'm calling people. I'm doing webinars, demos. Like, I don't even have, a fraction of the product that I have now. And I'm trying to convince people to, hey, we'll get there. Like, come on, come trust us. Whatever it is, just focus on sales and hopefully that will help you build the business. All right, Anna wants to kick me off. Awesome.
Thank you so much, Eric.
You're welcome.